Hello, savvy listeners. I am excited you are taking the time to invest in yourself today. Savvy, the business podcast, will show you how your daily habits can create your own platform. Experts will share solutions and efficient tips to create a roadmap just for you. One thing that can make this happen: change your habits, change your success. Welcome to Savvy, the business podcast. Hello, Savvy listeners. Thanks again for joining me on Savvy, the business podcast. Today, we are having a discussion or information that a lot of people may need. They may not know that they need it, or a variety of different reasons why they may not know about these resources or need to find a way to have them. We're going to speak with Dr. Conte Terrell this morning, and she is a person that I've known. And when I say dedicated, she is truly, truly dedicated to her mission to help victims of domestic violence. And with COVID, there's a lot of people that's working home, entrepreneurs, or just your job has become remote and you're in that environment basically 24/7 now. I know some are getting back out in the work environment, but there's a lot that's still at home, and it is what it is, and you have no choice. So I want you to really zone in and listen in on what she's going to share with you this morning. And if you have any questions, or don't worry about embarrassment or anything like that, she is, when I say dedicated, she is dedicated and confidential. So you don't have to worry about being blasted or anything like that. And having a program like this is crucial to survival for some people. And that's why I decided to go ahead and bring her on and let her give you the things that you need. So no further ado, thank you, Dr. Conte, for coming on and joining us this morning.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Melissa. It's always a pleasure for
Thank
me
you.
to share with you and time with you and see you, and then also to be able to enlighten and bring about awareness of this horrible, horrific situation that uh, we as African American women are finding ourselves in more than anybody.
Yes.
I don't know if you've paid attention to all of the news with all the different stories of domestic violence, also called intimate partner violence. And if you've paid any attention, you will know that, or would know that they are majority Black. The last we've seen in the last few years or so, and particularly the last few months or so, has been African American. So the rise for domestic violence has gone up, as you were just talking about the pandemic. And I'm always saying, people say stay in, stay safe. And that's absolutely true. I want everybody to stay in and stay safe.
Right.
But staying in and staying safe is not safe for the woman who is dealing with domestic violence. And we as African Americans, the fatality rate, and I'll say this several times throughout this podcast because I really want us to get it, goes up 3 times. It's 3 times higher.
Wow.
Than any other ethnicity or race, 3 times higher. And so a lot of times people say, well, why is that? Why is it that, African American women are being killed at a rate of 3 times higher than any other race? Well, for one, we don't talk about it at all. A lot of other times I hear women say, well, this just seemed normal to me. My mother was in this type of relationship. My grandmother was in this type of relationship. And so, unfortunately, we sometimes think this is what a relationship is about. I think prevention is huge. And we, as women, need to realize, I started the Conteology Queen Up mindset. That is understanding that you are a queen, believing that you are a queen, and also, behaving like a queen, but more than anything, accepting queenly behaviors from others, accepting queenly behavior, queenly treatment. And so being yelled at, being screamed at, I had a woman to talk to me about her abuse. But when I sent her over to the case manager, and the case manager was asking questions, the case manager asked if she was in a domestic violence relationship, and she said, no, absolutely not. And what I realized then is that people don't understand what a domestic violence relationship is. And I'm one. So, to give you a little bit of background on me, as she said, I'm Dr. Conte Terrell, founder and president of Fresh Spirit Wellness for Women, which is a nonprofit organization that helps women who've been, or families, not even just women, because now it's men as well, and youth, but the entire family who's been physically and sexually abused or affected by the abuse. It could be a mom who's lost her child, or a sibling who's, lost another sibling to domestic violence. So we help anybody that's affected by domestic violence. I also am the proud owner of Dr. Conte Speaks, my for-profit organization, where I do training and I speak and I come out and help women become their best selves. I am a 5-time author, and last book went international bestseller. But I pinch myself every day because I am blessed to be able to do my passion and my purpose and then change the lives of other people. But we can't fix what we don't know is broken. And so a lot of times, as I said before, if we think that this is okay because this is everything that we've known, this is all of the relationships around us, this is what my girlfriend's relationship looks like, this is what my aunt relationships looks like, we think that is normal, and it's really not. And the other thing that we have to understand is the definition of domestic violence. The definition of domestic violence isn't I got punched in the eye, have a black eye, or I got punched in the nose. So that's why when you ask people, are you in a domestically abusive relationship? They say no, because they may have not been punched in the face. They may have not been bust in the nose. And even those who have are shamed. And so we don't talk about it, and we don't discuss it, and we know. And also that's what the abuser does. The abuser is very cunning and very manipulative. And so they're also narcissistic people. One of the highest characteristics of an abuser is a narcissist. So when I say what is the definition of domestic violence, I want to explain what it is. The domestic violence definition is a pattern of a behavior of control, power and control of one spouse against another. That is what domestic violence is. It's not about punching you. It's not about anger management. It is a pattern of a behavior that's exhibited to maintain power and control from one spouse, partner, individual to another that's in an intimate relationship. And so they can obtain this power in many ways. They can obtain it by emotionally abusing you. They can obtain it by physically abusing you, by verbally abusing you, by financially abusing you, taking all of your money, if not taking your money, not allowing you to work, not allowing you to go back to school. So, we talk about the red flags all of the time. My very first book, Deliverance to a Fresh Spirit, I talk about the different signs. But since I've come out with what I call the not so red flags, because it's easy to say, I've been punched in the face, or I've been kicked, I've been knocked downstairs. But what about some other things? What about I can't wear my hair down? The not so red flags. I can't go to the family picnic or the family reunion. I can't hang out with my girlfriends. I can't wear what I want to wear. He gives me an allowance, but it's not like to do what I want to do. He gives me an amount of money that only can get me to where I'm supposed to go. If I'm supposed to go get my hair done, there's just enough gas to get my hair done, and get back home. I can't, you know, decide on what we want to do or eat or where we want to go. I mean, all of these things. I can't watch TV except what he's watching, if he's watching TV. If I'm going to sit in there with him, I don't have a choice as to what I watch. So these are what I call the not so red flags, because most of the time I ask every woman this question, and every woman has said the same answer: heck to the no. And so I'll ask you this question. If you got into a relationship or started dating, you're not even in a relationship, you start dating someone, and the first date, he picks you up, he comes to the door, he has flowers, he opens the door for you, you guys get in the car, and you drive one block, and at the stop sign, he hauls off and smashes you with his fist in your face. Would you continue the date? Heck to the no. Everybody says, absolutely not, Dr. Conte. No, are you crazy? Why would I? Heck no, I'd be out of there. Exactly. You would be out of there. So that is why domestic violence is what we call a grooming process. Nobody would stay then. There's a scientific experiment where it's as if you boil some water and you put a frog in the water. Once the water is boiling hot, the frog will jump right out. Well, that's like putting a woman in a car and getting to the stop sign and punching her in the face. She would jump right out. But if you put a frog in a pot of cold water and turn it up and allow it to feel heat and allow it to start boiling, frog stays in there. And that's the same thing as what happens with a female or male in this case, in any case of abuse. That's the same thing that happens. They stay in there because the grooming starts. It's not the hit right away. It's not the talk to you bad right away. It's the everything you ever thought of. As I say, I thought I had, I'm also a survivor. That's why I started my organization 23 years ago. I say, I thought I had nightmare. I thought I had my knight in shining armor, and I ended up with my nightmare on Elm Street. And I laugh about it, but that's what happens. The knight in shining armor is what you see in the beginning. The impersonator, the imposter. So they are grooming you. And I tell women, we tell them exactly how to groom us. We tell them exactly what they need to know because we talk too much. We talk too much. So, Melissa, what we'll say is, as a matter of fact, I was listening to a podcast yesterday. I think it was a podcast or a live on Facebook. And it was two brothers, and they're highly profiled brothers. And so women are always wanting to date them. And so one of the things that they were saying was, you don't have to tell her anything. You don't have to find out. All you have to do is sit back and listen. If she's going to tell you everything you need to know. And that's not a good thing. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, to listen more, ladies, queens, and talk less. Because what happens is he's one of the things he said is he's every first day he just sits back and he waits because it's given that the female that he's out with the first date with is going to eventually throughout that day tell him about the last relationship or a past relationship. Why? Why? And then we say all of our past and all of our hurts and all of our traumas and what we looking for and what we're not going to put up with because we've had this and it's not necessary. If you just listen, he's telling the men to do the same thing that I'm telling the women to do. Stop talking and listen. But guess what? They're listening, and if they're not the right man, if they are a narcissist or an abuser, they are listening to find out how to manipulate you. So if you say, I love dogs, guess what? They love dogs. Oh, I love cats. They love cats. I love church. I'm not going to ever date a man if he's not in church. Oh, I go to church every Sunday. And so then I go to church 3 times a week. I'm in Bible study. I'm in choir rehearsal. I'm in church. And so then we start to believe that we found this amazing person. We start to believe that, oh my gosh, we have so much in common. This is just unbelievable. And it usually is. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. But we don't give it the opportunity to get to know a person. We don't give the opportunity to find out, listen and find out. And then we also have 2 eyes for a reason. 2 ears, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. Those 2 eyes are to watch. Listen and watch. Does the behavior coincide with what's coming out of that person's mouth? And it takes time. It takes time. The other thing that the guys were saying was that the women move too fast. Women these days move too fast, and that we're in a relationship. This is what they're saying, the guys. We're in a relationship without even knowing it. That they've just put us in a relationship. Well, women, we can't be so desperate that we put somebody in a relationship. We have to vet them. We have to, we're the prize they have to recognize. That's the subtitle of my second book, Queens of You. We're the prize they have to recognize. And so, but guess what? You have to recognize first. You know, I am also the creator of the ABC's self-success tactics. And so the A is for self-affirmation. It goes all the way from A to Z. The B is for self-belief, and the C is for self-control. And I said, if you just get the first ABCs, you'd be a beast by the time you get to Z, because the self-affirmation is figuring out who we are, learning who we are, learning what we like, learning what we don't like. Domestic violence is something that's a learned behavior. So when women say they stay in these relationships for their children to have a father, well, what you do is you teach your sons how to be abusers, how to be narcissists. It's a learned behavior. But it's one of the hardest behaviors to break. And the reason is because when they learn the behavior, they also learn the narcissistic attitude, which is, we all know that they're always right. You're wrong. It's at your fault. Look what you made me do. And so when they've learned this, how can you fix again what you don't admit is broken? It is easier for an addict, a drug addict, or an alcoholic, which is a disease, to overcome to overcome an addiction and an alcoholic disease, alcoholism, than it is for an individual to stop abusing, because that individual don't know or say or admit that they are wrong. So my thing to my sisters, my queens, this is not healthy. This is not love. This is what leads to those women that we see and hear on the news who end up dead. And a lot of women say, well, he never hit me. but you can be, it's about power and control. And when that control is lost, that is when it goes to the, if verbally abusing you worked, and then when that stopped working, then they start emotionally abusing you, playing the mind games, the lies, you know, all of the, well, I didn't say that. That's not what I meant. When you said, and you know that's what they said. All of the stuff that, and then you walking around tipping on eggshells. When that's all for power and control. And when that doesn't work, they may use financial. And when that doesn't work, they may use physical. So it can escalate. But hear me good, hear me well. Don't think because you've never been hit that it's not bad enough for you to be killed. We've had a case study that a woman shared with her family. He's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. If anything happens to me, he's the one that did it. And the family is like, you've lost your mind. He's never hit you. What are you talking about? Because let me tell you, the abuser is so cunning. Everybody loves them. Everybody loves them. They've shown everyone their best behavior. And so her family was like, nobody, what are you talking about? He's never hit you. He's never put his hand on you. We've never seen that. And so she tried to divorce him. She says, if anything happened to me, I'm telling you, it's him. And true enough, on her way down the stairs from the courthouse, from divorcing him or filing for divorce and filing for a protective order, he ambushed her and killed her. So she was exactly right. And he had never been physically abusive. So domestic violence is not just physical. It is about a pattern to maintain power and control over an individual. And that pattern can be in many different ways. Someone is domestically abused every seconds, every 7 seconds. That is the physical, every 7 seconds. Just imagine about all of the other things. And I was the same way. I was a professional model, so he never hit me in the face. And again, they are cunning. They know it is by design and it is intentional. So it's on purpose. And so we think that, oh, something happened, they blew up, something didn't go right at work. I know I kept thinking, well, maybe something went wrong at work. We're thinking, well, what did I do? Or what happened? It's intentional. It's intentional so that when you do decide to leave, you're afraid to leave. They've isolated you, so where are you going to go? You don't talk to your friends anymore. You barely can go to the picnic at the family reunion. It's all methodical. And also, when you do decide to leave, the reason women are killed upon leaving, and men, because I will tell you about a story about a male. It's not just women. It's not just heterosexual. It's heterosexual relationships, homosexual relationships. It's every ethnicity. It's the rich. It's the poor. This dichotomy is ridiculous. It's men. And women. So don't just think that this is a woman's issue or a Black woman's issue. However, Black women are being killed at a rate of 3 times more than any other race. And particularly between the ages of 15 and 35, the Black woman is being killed at a rate of 3 times more. However, the Black woman as a whole is being killed 3 times more. But upon leaving, upon trying to escape, now the chances of anybody being killed, whether you're Black, white, male, female, goes up 75%. Goes up 75%. Your chances of being killed when you are leaving or are trying to leave or trying to escape. So you need to have a safety plan. At Fresh Spirit, we offer we offer counseling, we offer case management, we offer safety plans. There's a support group. They, and guess what? They're all free. They're free to you because this is our nonprofit organization. And so it's free to you. However, we're constantly asking for donations because the lights aren't free. The building isn't free. The staff isn't free. Fresh Spirit hires the best impeccable staff, professionals in this business. But we have to have people to donate to support us supporting the women to safely get out of domestic violence. You want to have a safety plan. And we also help with crime victims compensation. Melissa, a lot of people don't know that crime victims compensation will help you relocate, will help you move, also will help with funerals. Unfortunately, everybody do not escape domestic violence, as we know, as we hear on the news. And so a lot of families don't know, and they're cremating their loved ones because they didn't have burial insurance.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That is, I mean, that's eye-opening. I mean, you hear about it, you see it. And of course, since I follow you, I see a lot of your posts and I'm just like, oh, wow, But as you were talking, you hit on the verbal abuse, which is something that so many don't recognize because, like you say, it's not physical. But with everything that a woman or a male may go through throughout this process, majority of them have kids. Some are young, some are teenagers. Is there something that you can share that they can, inform the kids about, like a code word, or if this happened, this is who you can call? How can they not really say get the kids involved, but where they can see some things to try to help or go to get help?
Well, a part of the safety plan is that we come up with your help, the individual's help. And I want to say everything right now is virtual. So a lot of people aren't able to get in, but you may have a few minutes that you are away from him or he leaves. We are doing this virtual. So you can have the sessions, the talk, helping you understand the abuse, helping you do the safety plan. So the safety planning could be a code word to your child. It could be, a code word to a family member. It just depends on what you feel is safe. And if you want to get the children involved in that manner, if it's just you and one child or two children or somebody in the house and you need that help, that could be a good safety plan, is to have to do a code word and they know to go lock themselves in the other room and call 911.
Right. Okay. And with this abuse, some people, and it could be that you're married to this person or dating, and I think it'll be maybe a little bit different, but trafficking is growing every day.
Yes.
And with being abused, verbally abused, what's her name? Centoya. I heard her on T.I.'s podcast one time. She said that they call them Romeo pimps. So as this guy is courting them, giving them everything, I mean, being a perfect king and all of that, what signs can they recognize while they're being showered with items?
Well, it is so unfortunate because we think that's good. We think that's a good thing. Again, I guess, like I said, there's a saying, patience is the weapon that is used for deception to reveal itself. Patience is the weapon that is used for deception to reveal itself. Anybody can do that for a month. Anybody can do that for 2 months. Anybody can do that for 3 months. But look around. What else is he doing? How is he treating his family members, his loved ones? Do he have family members and loved ones? Has he had several relationships prior to you? Are you, I pulled up to pick up my lunch from Papados the other day, and this young brother pulls up in this amazing Rolls Royce, and he pulls right up to the front, let 3 young ladies out, and I already know what time it is. I already know what time it is. And so, unfortunately, remember I talked about that self-awareness. Why is this okay with you? Why does this seem like, okay, why is this is a good, going into us, we have to heal our own vulnerabilities, our own past hurts, our own self injuries, and injuries that were not bestowed upon us by ourselves, the molestation, the rapes, the childhood traumas that causes us to be able to look at these things and think this is good. This is a good thing for us. This is the best I've ever had, or this nobody's ever treated me this way. So why is he treating you this way? Because this is one of the things that I tell women all the time. Until you get well, you're going to attract somebody else that's sick. Sick attracts sick. You're not purposely going out there saying I want an abusive person, but guess what? That abusive person is purposely seeking you out. It's like boom, boom, her, him. This is the one that's ashamed. This is the one that's vulnerable. This is the one that I can manipulate. This is the one that's going to want to fix me. This is the one that's going to want to hang in there because she, wants to have empathy for me and help me. They look for that, and the sick. The person who have not healed themselves or learned self-love, self-help, pro-self, as I call it, they are the prime suspect for these people who are looking to take advantage of somebody.
Wow. What about someone that is a friend or family member, and they're that outside eye, they're that outside ear, and they see things, and every time they may approach that person, girl, nah, that's just how he is, or don't worry about him, he tripping. You have all of these different excuses or things that's said, but this outside person is seeing these things happen. What advice would you have for a person like that to try to give them advice or get them out of a situation?
One of the things I often say is to be patient and to be kind. Let me tell you, we can be so cruel, and some of us are the main reasons why the person don't tell you anything. The main reasons why we stay. Okay. Because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Well, if it was me, I wouldn't put up with that. Right. Or, girl, I don't know why you can't see this, and this is, no. You have to be loving and say, look, I understand. I've loved somebody before, but I've also realized that this is really not love. And you are a wonderful person. You should have somebody that can see that, and you can benefit from them treating you well. And you know what? I saw this woman, Dr. Conte, or I saw whomever, Dr. Lucy, I'm making up somebody. Right. And you know what? I was listening to some of the stuff that they were saying, and I realized too that that's not love. Put it back on you. Not always them. You're the bad person. You don't see this. And then give them the resources. Give them the resources. Like, look, here's a number. I had a woman to give somebody my number. Thank God I'm stable. She kept it for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
10 years. She put it under a little thing under her armoire. And she said every time she would go to the mirror, it was something that said, call this number. She finally called. Like I said, thank goodness my number was still the same. You can't tell a person how long or when, because guess what? That grooming is real, and it has happened a long time. And look, you're going to be the friend that's why they don't want you to have friends, because especially if you're the friend that can see right through them. So they're going to be telling you exactly what he's telling you, exactly what he's telling them about you. You just jealous. You just don't have a man. That's because that's what he's saying about you. And we have to realize, look, I love you and I'm here for you. I can't make you change. We can't make a person change. But we can show them love. We can show them support. We can be consistent, and we can be patient, and we can be kind. Because when they're finally ready, they need somebody to call. And you will not be that person. I've had women tell me all the time that the closest people to them aren't the people that they can call. Yeah, because you've gotten tired. They've gone back 3, 4, 5 times. The average woman goes back 7 times. 7, that could be 3 to 23. 7 times, because that is how strong that grooming is. That is how strong they've made you feel that they can work it out. They'll go to counseling. We'll fix this. That's how strong they've made you think that nobody else wants you anyway. You can't live without me. You can't even make up a bed without me. They'll have you so broke down. They'll break your self-esteem down so low. And that is what the counseling is for, to help you see the tactics, to help you see that you are not this, but this is just who they are. I have women say, "Oh my God, it's like you know my man, like you know." No, I don't know him, but I know all tigers have stripes. You know what I'm saying? And so
Right.
same thing, all abusers have the same, different types of behavior and characteristics that I do know. So it does seem like I know you're a man, but I also know that you are worth more than that. And because of what they've told you, because of how you've lived a life of this grooming, you don't have any self-esteem. You don't have any self-identity. You get out, I ask women to give me 3 strengths and they start telling me stuff that the man like, or they start telling me stuff outside of them. Well, I graduated from college, or no. What about you? What's your strengths? Are you a determined person? Are you a caring person? Are you an organized person? Are you, determined? What are the things? Are you a good communicator? What are the things about you that help? That's going to, because your strengths are your things that's going to help you get through. But again, you got to know you. You have to be aware of who you are. Every one of us have a superpower. I got something Melissa doesn't have. Melissa got something Dr. Conte doesn't have. And I can't do it like you do it. And you can't do it like I do it, because that's your thing. But every woman needs to know what that is. Every woman needs to have some non-negotiables. This is a non-negotiable. I absolutely will not tolerate this. But we have to go through the coaching and the counseling and the training to understand that. And it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Because I promise you, I tell women, say, "Oh Lord, she done got a hold to another one." Because you just give me a little time with you, I'm gonna help you to see. I said, I wish my superpower was a crystal ball. You know those little things, those little snowballs you used to shake up back in the day? And I could say, "This is gonna be you, this is you." And they're like, "Okay, well, who is that? Who's that wonderful person?" That's the healthy man that you deserve. That's the life that you have. Who are these? This is the vision that you have. But it's being stunted with these limiting beliefs that are so many times put in our heads from childhood, from not being able to get into the school you wanted, or not being able to, all these different, being too big, you think. Somebody said you was too dark, too fat, too skinny. I mean, there's somebody that told us something about us that was belittling, And so just like people can think that they're too big or too heavy, I had a complex because I thought I was too skinny and I was making money doing it. I was a model. But people can be cruel. One guy told me, "You skinny as a rail. Even a dog won't meat on the bone." So guess what that says to my psyche? Even dogs don't even want you.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to remove, because 80% of our thinking is negative. You have to learn. I teach techniques to understand those negative thoughts and replace them immediately, because we're who we think we are. We're what we believe we are. Everything starts here. Your thoughts fuel your emotions and your feelings and emotions fuel your actions, and your actions determine your behavior and what you accept in your life and how you react to something or respond to something. And so it takes us doing the work on us.
Wow. So let's talk about men before we get out of here. Men, it's not only, okay, I'm a male, I'm big, you have the ego, your pride, my boys, I don't want my boys to know, I'm getting jumped on, and, all of these things with being a man. What would you say to men that,
Well, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the thing about it is that they are good men. Just like they're ashamed, just like women are ashamed. And so I say shame, SHAME, stop humiliation against me.
wow,
Because you're putting that humiliation on yourself. You don't deserve that, even as men. And so men think, and even family members look at it different when it's women. And it's abuse. Abuse is abuse. I don't care who's hitting. I saw that celebrities boot camp. I had people calling me, texting me, and I don't even watch it, but I went back to watching, and I even went back to watch a few episodes because, like I said, I kind of looked past what's happening. And this guy had just lost it. But what they did not address, was she was abusive. They said we would not tolerate abuse in this house. Well, you had already been tolerated. When you throw something and hit people in the face and all of this stuff, you are being abusive. And women, it doesn't give anybody a right to jump up and choke you.
Right.
But no means, I'm not saying that was what he should have done. But they should have addressed that too. Like I said, she hasn't fixed herself, and she admitted that she has had abuse before. She has to heal from that. But usually men, Melissa, to answer your question, they feel like we can fix it because we are big, we're men. And they want to help you. They want to show these women that I'm not that kind of guy. You've had this, but I'm not that kind of guy. But it's only so much they can handle and take too. And so I have a client, a family that we are counseling because they lost their loved one, and it was a male. And he stuck in there. This woman they seen her, abuse him at family reunions. She had cut him before, all types of different things. And so finally, he decided he had enough. And again, remember, I said your chances of being killed goes up 75% when you're leaving. And the night that he said he had enough, she shot him in the head while he was asleep.
My God.
So don't play with this. This is a serious thing. Domestic violence is serious. And even for men, we just started our very first male support group last week. And it's going to be every week because men do need to talk about it. Because there are women who are very controlling and manipulative because it's a learned behavior. So they've now taken this bad, negative, abusive behavior into a healthy relationship. And so you're trying to handle this guy like you've had to be with the fool and the narcissist. But this is not this guy. So you're packing all this luggage with you into a new relationship that could be a healthy relationship. So men, please don't tolerate it either. Don't stay. That guy should have been still in that relationship with her throwing apples and stuff at him. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's why I say the Conteology queen. That's not a Conteology queen. Conteology queen believes you're a queen, behaves like a queen. That's not behaving like a queen. And then you expect queenly treatment from others. But you gotta carry yourself like that.
Yeah.
Sick attracts sick.
Right. It was two couples that I thought were in that mode. You had the incident when she threw the apples and she looked like bust him in a jar. I was like, oh wow.
Yes,
and of course
it was terrible.
And he snapped. Not that it's not right, but he
not
did
right at all.
He was still in that moment of you just bust me in the head,
You've been all week long, you've been antagonizing me.
Right. And you have the other one with the younger guy with I think it was Hazel, where she's like, he's younger, I'm older, so she's using that. It's like I see an abusive there because it's like you always nitpicking at him and he's talking to somebody. Well, why are you talking to her? You shouldn't be talking. Like he just held a conversation, you know. So I saw two couples.
I saw two too, and I don't know the names, but there's another young gentleman on there who he's violent. I think he should have been removed from the house too. So I wish they would call Dr.Conte, the domestic violence expert, to come on one of these shows and talk to these people and talk. I do appreciate that they were bringing it to the forefront because domestic violence needs to be brought to the forefront. And I do appreciate that, but I do think that they handled it very wrong and it could have been handled very differently because you still gave a very bad message. You gave a very bad message about domestic violence.
Yes. One-sided.
Yes.
Yeah. No, you're completely right. And we just have to start being aware, and especially now with this pandemic. I won't say especially now because this is nothing new, but because we are forced to stay at home, and like you say, the message is stay home, stay safe. for some people, that's not the case.
It's not the case.
So it's making everybody aware, and thanking you for even doing what you're doing and coming on today to talk about it. This is something that I think needs to happen, and people just need to be aware and don't worry about being ashamed, embarrassed, or
Right.
anything like that. Having a location and a place like Fresh Spirit to connect with is, I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
Confidentiality, you have all the
Yeah.
resources, referrals, everything that you need,
Yeah.
right there.
Right.
So let everybody know how they can get in touch with you, and if they just uneasy and want to call, no big deal. Who do they call? Where do they go? Just all of that information.
Okay. Well, we're Fresh Spirit Wellness for women and men and families. Fresh Spirit Wellness. We started out as wellness for women, and then we cut it to just wellness because we help everybody. However, it's www.freshspirit.org. www.freshspirit.org. And then you can reach us at the office at 713-588-4418. 713-588-4418. But since COVID, we've had an influx of calls. And so we've created a line because it can kind of get somebody almost at any time. 713-300-2473. 713-300-2473. You can click the extension for the program coordinator, and she can coordinate you or she can do a wellness call if you need to, if this is a wellness call to see what's going on, or coordinate you with one of the case managers, or she's also the resource line if you need something else. So her name is Felicitas. So if you call that 713-300-2473 and hit Felicitas extension, then that can be your first point of contact. And listen, it is so vital. We have a support group every Thursday night. You might just want to hop on the support group. It's on Zoom. You don't have to show your face just to get the information and the support. And even if you don't want to do individual counseling, there are other women on there that you can talk to, that you can hear their stories and what they've gone through. And so we say, reach out, do something, that even if it's just hopping on. And if you're nationwide, 799-SAFE, 1-800-799-SAFE. There's so many resources out there. And so we really, really would love to support you, to help you, to give you that support to transition from a situation, because so many people don't know how to get out, what to do. We've helped the lady do a kick out order. He wouldn't leave. There's a thing called a kick out order, and he had to legally be kicked out, and then protective orders. We can help with all of that, safety plans, all of that. So please contact us. And for those who want to support what we do, we have a virtual walk. Because of the pandemic, we can't do the normal events that we usually have. You can register for the walk and walk anywhere in the world. Videotape it, take pictures, and upload it to the site, showing that you are helping to support survivors of domestic violence. So please donate to www.freshspirit.org or register to do our virtual walk. And you and your family, whoever you've been quarantining with, safely can walk together in your neighborhood, a school track, or wherever you'd like to walk.
Wow. Thank you so much. And I hope if you're watching this or listening to this, that remember, everything that she's telling you is free. Don't worry about, I can't afford, he won't give me no money, how can I get money from him? It is free. So you don't have to worry about any of that. Just get to a phone, borrow somebody's phone if you don't have one. Whatever you have to do, just be sure you get in contact, stay safe, and just know that the resources are out there and that there is a way out.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Dr. Conte.
Thank you for allowing me to do this.
Absolutely.